This is our adjustable stitching ditch foot, very similar to the adjustable 1/4 inch foot, same basic foot, but it's got the guide in the centre. And again, this is the version for use with 9mm stitch width and IDF, because it's got the slot in the back, and we've got the cutaway and the guide underneath to stop anything damaging these front feed teeth. So let's put this on the machine. Again, there is a version of this for category 7 and 8 machines, so if you've got one of those, there is one of these available to you as well. And we've got that nice elongated hole in the centre, again just like the adjustable 1/4 inch foot, so that you can just adjust slightly if you need to. So this is a 4-patch block. You recognise this fabric from when I did the 1/4 inch one. So there's my nice flat seams underneath. As we say, we press them to one side, usually to the dark side, but most of these are fairly light anyway. So the idea of the stitching ditch foot is this guide will follow the ridge of this seam here. Because it's pressed to one side is slightly thicker than the other. So if you press that way, you don't really come up against anything, but that way you can feel you're actually hitting the edge of the seam. So that's what we're going to use this guide for. And I'm just going to, again, you can use this with the straight stitch plate. So I'm going to drop the needle down, except I haven't got it in the right place. So I'm going to set my stitch width to stitch length to 3mm, and I'm just going to drop that needle down. And I'm just going to lift the foot up and see where that's actually dropped, and it looks pretty good actually. So I'm just going to go with it. This should be dead on. I'm just going to start stitching, and I'm going to just run that guide along that ridge there. It's as simple as that. So I'm just going to check and see how that's come. Oh yes, that's lovely. So I'm just going to carry on along there, and then there will come a point where the seam allowance was pressed that way before, it's now going to be pressed this way when I cross over here, because I can feel that, yeah, it's definitely going that side. So we might actually just change a little bit how we use the pressure on that guide. Very gentle. So if I now cut that, and you can see, if I open that up, you can see how well that's gone in to that ditch. That's why it's called stitching the ditch. It's like stitching in a groove, isn't it? So let's just do the other way. Just make sure everything's flat. I haven't bothered pinning or basting this, so I'm just making sure it's flat as I put it in. But again, yeah, I've just rested that against that seam there, and the allowances over that side. So that's it. And we're swapped now to one that's pressed over to the right hand side. But it went over that really easily, didn't it? So there we go, that's stitching the ditch. But again, you can see how closely that's gone in to that seam line. That's lovely, that. Yeah, very pleased with that. And there's the back. Get rid of that bit of thread that's got caught in there. There's the back as well. Looks really good.